Bungo is back, baby. Can't wait to see my boy Dazai completely outsmart the competition. What's that? You're saying Dazai gets put into prison on purpose and he has less screen time than other seasons? Well, at least I can see my boy Chuya in action. How much screen time? 36 minutes? Seconds? Well, fuck. Bungo became quickly one of my favorite animes as soon as I watched. Sure, it's got plenty of flaws, but the character dynamics in that mystery/detective theme is super enjoyable.
What really happened here? Who was the cowboy who confronted Johnny and Larry that night? Was the old woman in on it too?
One of the things that I've enjoyed about Bungo is that seasons are kind of split into two parts. The first season usually focuses on backstory of a certain member and the initial conflict, and the next season will be that conflict's resolution. It's one of the main reasons why the second season is my favorite in the entire show, and I'm happy to report that we have that same style returning for season 4, and it might just be the darkest the show's ever been. Like, legitimately, the first episode got a dude getting capped in the head.
Hey, Dad!
We've had our fair share of injuries and shit throughout, but, like, damn. These first few episodes focus on the background and relationship between Rampo and Fukuzawa. We've seen before how upset Rampo was with the cannibalism virus, but never got to see actually how the two became this close. And you gotta love from the very beginning how just Rampo doesn't give a singular fuck. But, you know, this carefree attitude was kind of his biggest fault. The ability to see the truth comes so naturally to him that he believes everyone else is exactly the same, but the realization that he might be the different one is terrifying for him. How would you deal with this? You know, you just tell Rampo that everyone else is an idiot. I just find the concept hilarious how Fukuzawa is calling everyone stupid idiots with a crowd of people literally next to him. But this revelation at least kind of helps Rampo's confidence and how he should utilize his special ability. But as we all know, Rampo's just a normal dude. He's not invincible. A quick demonstration of the world's strongest chair and a swift backhand should teach him not to gamble his life away on things working in his favor.
You ain't got no game, backhand!
The whole father-son dynamic between Rampo and Fukuzawa is incredibly wholesome, and we now understand why they both care deeply for each other. Well, at least now that Rampo has learned some very valuable lessons, he won't get himself involved in situations where a gun would get pointed at his head.
Oh yeah.
I suppose, at least in this case, he was a little bit more prepared. And also, quick side note, I would personally not be opposed to a spin-off series where just Rampo and Poe go around solving cases. But like, we got people getting yeeted off buildings, more people getting shot in the face. It's like we're catching up for the lack of murder in the show. Okay, nice. A little award ceremony for the detective agency? That's a little bit more tame. Wonder how we'll follow that up. How about a few mutilated corpses?
I'm going to throw up.
I don't want to seem like I'm complaining about this by any way. I actually really enjoy that shit's hitting the fan. There's so much content that happens in this season that you almost have to rewatch it just to make sure you have a grasp on the whole situation. Remember our old buddy Fyodor? You know, guy with the funny hat? Well, despite being in prison, he's still scheming, and he's scheming even bigger than before. Utilizing Mushtaro's perfect crime ability, the Decay of Angels have a surefire way towards the agency's demise. Thing is though, the agency was warned and knows about this, but still has to act on the job. They aren't sure the exact way in which this demise will be brought about, but if they do nothing, well, you know, people will get chainsawed in half, which can't be good for PR. But in hindsight, that may have actually been the better option, because as soon as they get to the hostages, they still get sawed in half, and now it's made to look like the agency were the ones who orchestrated it.
Oh, disgusting. Who did this? Anyone? Someone's gonna clean it up.
Rampo is framed for stabbing Chief Taneda, Fukuzawa is arrested, and Atsushi's vibing with his foot in concrete. Because of this whole ordeal, it's not just the Decay of Angels after the detective agency, but now every facet of the military, including the hunting dogs, who are basically just the fucking Avengers for gifted. However, what happens next is one of the biggest reasons of why I love Bungo. Kunikida's group is rescued by Chuya in the Port Mafia, although he does kind of explode, and Atsushi makes contact with the guild. Bungo does a fantastic job of humanizing these quote-unquote bad guys. Although the groups have done evil things, the members themselves aren't completely evil. Even if the organizations have different motives, they're living in the same world, so if the plans of Fyodor go through, they'll also be affected, so there's almost this weird sense of camaraderie. Maybe now things will go a bit smoothly.
Honey,
You've got a big storm coming.
I'm gonna stop doing that. You guys gotta get the point. This shit just keeps hitting the fan no matter what. A deal is struck between the guild and the Port Mafia for information that should help prove the agency's innocence, in exchange for treatment of Margaret and one agency member joining the Port Mafia. This is where we learn Yosano's backstory and how Mori can still be a piece of shit. She probably has the most tragic backstory so far. A child with an ability that doesn't let people die, forced to use it as a tool of war. We see these soldiers go from praising her as a god to just pure resentment. Losing was never an option as long as she was around. As she stated, she could heal their bodies, but not their minds. Watching these soldiers go insane from experiencing death but not actually dying led her to go insane too. And if that's not already fucked up enough, after 3 years in an isolation chamber, Mori comes back to try to make Yosano use her ability against her will again, which then leads to the eventual fallout between Fukuzawa and Mori. Even though Yosano uses her ability now at the agency, it's not because she's being forced to, it's because she cares about everyone there. Well, the meeting happens, but goes awry. Tachihara is a member of the Hunting Dogs, Atsushi and Kyoka break out Mushitaro, encounter Ango, who we learn is like a quintuple agent, and then they have to infiltrate a sky casino to stop this global act of terrorism, all while Dazai's in this 500 IQ prison chess match.
なんです？
何が?
何って何が?
Did I mention this season's 13 episodes? If there was one flaw I could see people picking at with this season, it's the pacing. You're constantly jumping from one thing to another with multiple flashbacks and following multiple groups. However, the season never felt overwhelming to me. Yes, it's a bit chaotic, but the writing is done in a way that's not only easy to understand most of what's going on, but also makes you feel super engaged when watching. One of my own personal criticisms for Bungo is that comedic moments are often used in scenes that really don't need them, and although there is some goofy shit, it feels way less frequent.
用心棒さん助けてください。仕事もなく、泊まるところもなくて死んでしまいます。
Instead, we get a lot more of those fun mind games between all the different groups, which is what makes Bungo so fun to watch. And like I said, there's a lot more death. People getting stabbed, shot, you got a guy getting acid poured on his head, falling off buildings. It's really kicking it up a notch. Season 2 is still my personal favorite season since it focuses on Dazai and he's literally my favorite character in anime, but if I'm looking at it more objectively, I think this is the best season so far for Bungo. And thankfully for us, we don't have to wait much more for the potential climax of the situation, as Season 5 has already been announced to air in July. If you had a chance to watch Season 4 of Bungo Stray Dogs, let me know what you thought of it in the comments below. We're a few weeks into spring and I'm loving the show so far, so expect a what to watch video soon. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to support me further, the link to my Patreon is in the description. We have a bunch of cool rewards like picking stream games, Discord badges and hangouts, exclusive content, early access to vids, and shoutouts at the end of my videos, like for Killer Bunny, Leon, Little PK, Nova, Peppy Jewel, Nicholas Gutierrez, Tech Rob, Shaky Pants, and Chupa. That's all I got for this time. Hope to see you again.